Hey, welcome back to the channel. As if we weren't having enough fun with Rob Zombie and Trojan, who honestly is minding his manners, and Pro Stock, who, you know, I'm still, even though you'll be seeing this video probably 3 or 4 or 5 days after the track day, it is still very fresh in my mind, and I'm, not amused or whatever. I'm disappointed. It's just, and I know, I get it, that's part of cars. I understand that. But that also doesn't mean that just because it's part of cars means you should just, or I can just, no big deal, who gives a crap? Because I do give a crap. So it disappoints me, and I'll get over it like you get over anything else. But in the moment, I'm still disappointed. And, I know a day at the track is better than a day at work and all them other cliches. But, when you have expectations and you go to the track and you're disappointed, your expectations aren't met, you're disappointed. And then, part of it's your fault. Well, all of it's your fault because you're the person working on the car. And you're just, come on, help me out a little bit. But, in a day or two, I'd just be like, hey, whatever. We just have to come up with a plan. And I'm big on plans. It doesn't ever seem like it, but I'm big on having a direction. So anyway, but that's neither here nor now. We are working on McNugget. And McNugget, we needed another problem child, like we needed a hole in the head. But Kevin, like I said in the previous McNugget video, we put this car together for Kevin to race, and he's got his hands full of the 55 at the moment, and just, so I was like, hey, I had offered before that if he was, tired of it or whatever, that, if he didn't, we'd take it back here or take it back and work whatever. So, he did tell me the other night that, how about this, for all you eF'Ni guys, this car is the reason why Kevin bought a 55 instead of a Fox body. He was so frustrated with how this car ran and how it just kept, he could never get it right, or we couldn't get it right, or it would go to the track and run like crap. And he got so frustrated with it that he said, I don't want a Fox body. I don't want to, if we would have carbed this car to begin with, and I know there's guys jump up in arms about carburetors and all this kind of stuff. If we would have carbed this car from the beginning, he probably would have bought his own Fox body. I'm just saying. So, but again, it is what it is. So, so what are we doing? Well, here's what your eF'I is doing right now. It's turning spark plugs black, which, just like a carb car. So, I know David, this car from the jump it'll either run like garbage, or it might run good, or it'll start running like garbage for no apparent reason. David's put a tune in it and all this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. This car doesn't have an O2 oxygen sensor harness on it. Before anyone freaks out about that, I drove Teresa's car for 1.5 years with no oxygen sensor harness on it. So, and it basically ran the same. I literally could tell no difference. So I'm also not a gas mileage checker. So people say, oh, your gas mileage probably went downhill. I don't check gas mileage. I'm not that guy. I'm a $15, $20 guy at the pump. And when it gets low, I put gas in it. That's just how I do it. I did it Monday, and I don't start doing all that Ricer math in my head about how much gas I'm using. I've never done that. It is what it is. Cost of doing business, drive a hot rod. So, anyway, this is what our deal is. So, what are we going to do about that? I don't know. One thing, here's a clip from when Kevin did bring the car over here. I did come out because it wouldn't run it wouldn't start. He thought the fuel pump was dead. So here's a clip from that. Hang on, guys. power relay was bad, and that's whoa, in neutral. That's a lot of times fuel pump won't come on. That's probably one of the first things you may want to check. So that's what it was. We swapped the one out from the brain, and we got fuel pump, so that's all good. It is definitely not running smooth. That has been a constant thing. So I don't know. We got some options. So we may look into a few different things for this. I don't know. We'll let you know as we work on it, but it's definitely not crisp. It's definitely not running right. But again, we got some options, some things we can look at. So not going to be today though, obviously. But yeah, making progress, I guess. It at least runs now. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next clip. EC power relay was bad in it. So we pulled the relay out of the brain. That's the first thing I tried. Boom, it fired up. Sounds like garbage. Sounds like it's on about 4 or 5 cylinders. Probably because it's just glugging like crazy. We've had multiple mass airs on this car. We've tried different computers. Nothing seems, could be something in a harness, you know? So, I don't know. All I know is that it's extremely frustrating. And we will deal with it, I guess, for a little while. See if we can make some headway. I don't necessarily want to put a carburetor on this car. I don't really have any feelings one way or another about, I just want to get it like kind of running and take it to the track and see if we can get it where it's kind of consistent and it'll run decent. I'm not, you know, really like, oh, I want to run this number or I want to do this. I'm not even really thinking that far ahead. It's just, hey, the car, I think the best Kevin ran with it was a 48 or 49. I don't know I think he may have done that once. I know he ran some 750s with it, but this car was all over the place with ET, so who knows. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're tinkering with it. Like I say, I'm sure that I mentioned it in the TNT video that we will not be attending Dyno Day. We don't really have anything to take. Everything we got is either broken, in a state of disrepair, or we're working on it, or my whole intention was to take Pro Stock, and maybe if I got one of the other cars going, I would look at doing that. But after what happened at TNT Day, it's just, well, and I don't care. I honestly don't care about what the dyno numbers are. I never have. I don't care what they make. That is an irrelevant number to me. It is what it is. All I care about is what runs up the track. So I just go to hang out, have a good time. And so there's going to be people that's not even going to be there. That, you know, Eric's not going to be there. Kevin's not going to be there. And since I'm probably not going, I don't think Pirate's going. So, you know, it just be that way. It just happened to hit on a bad weekend. I don't know. I don't know how this one unraveled the way it did, but it did. I know on my end what happened. I got a bunch of broke cars, and I got to get them ready to go race. Racing's more important than dynoing. So anyway, I'm gonna fiddle around with this a little bit. See what happens. I've got a whole other harness. I just swapped the harness out. I don't care. Put a whole other harness in it. So anyway, let's get to work, I guess. Oh God, getting old. We're digging into it, guys. McNuggets already got his first taste of blood. So we are digging into it. You may ask what we're doing. Well, it's got a set of 24s. That's probably fine. Whatever. We're going to put some 30s. We got a Pro M 30. We're changing the harness. We're throwing all the parts at it. And if none of this works, we'll throw a carburetor on it. Because I'm not going to sit here and beat my head against the wall trying to figure this out just to go slower than I could with a carb. Just saying. I drive an EFI car every single day. But this thing, if we had what I considered a better meter, then maybe we would just leave the 24s and stuff. But we don't. So let me go get some O-ring lubricant. And we'll finish taking this out. Lay the new old one, and see where we end up. Maybe we'll end up with a running McNugget, a decent running McNugget, rather than this turd that we've got now. So, all right, let me go get the injector rail. All right, we've got 30s in it. We've got Trojan's old upper, not that that's any different. We've got an 80 millimeter Pro M on it. We checked the timing on it. It was like super advanced. If the balancer's right, I mean, it was like super advanced. So yeah. So we're fixing to do a cold start. I just got home from work, so we're gonna start it up. It got dark yesterday. I finished up right at dark. Started it up, set the timing, checked it, set it, and adjusted the idle. So still not great, but the plugs, I haven't pulled any plugs and looked at them, so that isn't helping anything. So let me fire it up. Come on, man. One other thing before we start, I found probably part of the problem. It's got a Dale Earnhardt keychain. Bill Elliott. video and fired it up. Probably a lot of this is maybe because it doesn't have O2s on it, so when it's cold, it's finicky as the son of a gun. But like right now, you know, he sounds, you know, it's not about how he sounds, it's about how clean it's revving. And that's just sitting there revving. That's not driving it or anything. Hey, maybe if I ain't that bad. Chris Wilson is tripping out right now in the comment section. They just snatch it off the car. They put 4 barrels of fantasy on here. You know, harken back to your younger days when the moan of the 4 barrel. Only thing sweeter than that was, well, the moan of something else, but you hear that whoa whoa, and it was a rite of passage, flipping the air filter lid over on your parents' 4 barrel, whatever it was, and stomping it. Whoa, whoa. True story, Lance's mom had and Lance can correct me on this, like early to mid 80s Caprice. It was like a base model, and it had like 305 4 barrel. And we flipped there, or he did, flipped the air cleaner lid over, and man, we thought that Quadrajet was the coolest thing in the world. It looked like a cop car. It was tan. It was very base model. You get on the, I'm like, man, this thing is awesome. Hey, it was awesome. So, I'll have to ask Lance about that car. Maybe he can fill me in on it, and I can put it, you know, in the tech. I'll put something tech. We also ran out of gas last night, so we had to put a little gas in it. Well, that sounds pretty good. For the record, we have an O2 Hornet. Now, I think the O2 bungs were welded up. We didn't do that, or I didn't do that, but they may have plugs in them. If they have plugs, I'll round up a couple of O2s and we'll throw O2 harness on it and see if that helps hold stuff out. If not, just gotta make sure it's warmed up. Kevin told me I had to make a pass with those damn flowsmashers on it, but what he doesn't know is that we take it to the track. I'm bringing, hold on, don't go anywhere. Hey, you guys are still here, okay. I'm gonna bring these with me. So, we're at the track, make a few passes, we can pull that junk off and put party on. Like, oh damn, here's part of the problem, the turnbuckle. Man, no wonder this thing, the horse torques are flexing everywhere. There we go. You guys think McNuggets ready to roll? You ready to kick some D-O-O-T-Y, Eric? Hey, you know what? We might have to revive Kevin's hit list. So, after we make some passes with it, hold on. After we make some passes with it, then we can get into like maybe some of the good stuff. You know, we'll get the cutting disc out. And the whole saws. We'll get our horsepower kit out and go right to work on it. No, like I say, I don't necessarily want to put a carburetor on here. I mean, it's, you know, extra cost and expense. It depends on how, you know, I start feeling about the car. The other thing too is, and when I made my McNugget video here arriving, I had already edited it and uploaded it and everything like that. I don't keep any of the old footage of anything. Once I do it all on my phone. I don't keep anything on computer. I don't back nothing up, because honestly, it ain't a big thing to me. You know what I mean? I don't have an archives. So typically I delete it off my phone and it's gone. That's it. So, because, you know, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just some doofus making YouTube videos. There is a difference. I think it's obvious. Anyway, we're gonna put MSD coil on here. We need to get some new plug wires. What the hell are these things? Oh dang, we got Taylor Street Thunders. We got the good stuff. We can't be riding around in stock coil though, even though they work great. We gotta have an MSD on here. But I'd already done my video before and loaded it up and everything like that before Kevin posted his video updating the 55, which, you know, that really sucks, and you know, talking about McNugget. So, but he was incorrect in a lot of things that he said on there about McNugget. The fact of the matter is that the parts that he bought to put on this car, there was never any debt, but evens the debt or whatever between giving me a car back that wasn't running. That's not true. You know, I probably won't even run his tires. I'm gonna take them off and put them in a shop. He can run them. But the truth of the matter is that Kevin will always be a part of this car. That's just the way it is. For years, I bought Brain from a friend of mine, and I called it Brian's car for years. For years, I called it Brian's car, because to me, it was his car. He put the combo together basically, and I just bought it from him. So it was like Brian's car, and we just started calling it Brain. There's one day I'll do the video with all the car names, just so there's stories behind some of them. So anyway, and the Brain has a story behind his name. So it was Brian's car. So this car, even with Kevin bringing it back over here, I'm not like, hey, I got my car back. This was never my car. I have the title to it, and I bought a lot of the parts, and David contributed a lot too, and Kevin bought stuff. So it's not like it's my car. I just happen to be the guy with the title. So, and right now it happens to be at my house. So Kevin will always be a part of this car, and regardless of what we do to it, if he wants to race it, all he's got to do is just say, hey, what are you racing this weekend? I say, I'm racing Pro Stock or Silver Car. And he's like, you mind if I take McNugget? Come and get it, brother. Come and load it up, take it with you. And that's just how that is, because it ain't no thing to me. You know what I mean? I'd rather him be up there racing it than not, if he wants to. So he, you know, you see where I'm going with this. This car was always put together so Kevin could race with us, and then, you know, it pushed him, for better or worse, to where he got his 55. I don't want to say for better or worse, but it made him want to get his 55 more than just dreaming about it. It forced his hand, kind of. It made him do it, which, you know, at the end of the day, right now, it's in a slump, but, you know, there'll be brighter days ahead, of course. Once he gets it fixed again, he'll be happy with it, and, you know, and it'll always be a 55. I mean, he'll always have a 55, which that's cool. That's a cool car. One of my favorite cars, 55 Chevy. But I don't want him to not be able to race because his car's down. You know what I mean? So yeah, are we going to take this thing up there and run it once or twice? 100%. We got 3 test and tune days left for this year, according to our track guy. They're shutting down a couple weeks early because they got a bunch of improvements that they want to do to the track, and he needs the time to do it so he can open back up in February. So my plan is that if everything goes okay, which that hasn't been happening recently for us at track with different cars, but if everything goes okay with McNugget, we've got him kind of sorted out a little bit, and that was the main thing, getting it sorted out a little bit, and everything seems okay, checks out, we make some decent passes, and it's a little consistent, then we may try and take it one more time. But the last one, Kevin can take it. I'd rather him take it up there and run it if he wants to. You know, if he doesn't want to, that's cool too. But if he wants to, you know, we didn't give him a good ride to begin with. How about that? I mean, we bolted a bunch of junk together, and normally we're pretty good with that. But this time it just didn't quite work out. So, you know, we're going to try and have it up at the Test and Tune coming up. We're not going to Dyno Day. You guys already know that. We need the time to work on stuff. That's just the truth of the matter. And it hit on a bad weekend. A lot of people, Kevin's not gonna be able to go. Eric, Pirate, you know, just stuff going. People got lives, like I said, and it just worked out. Trying to push to where I say push, it's ultimately David does this. It's where we do it like in January. Tracks are closed, it's nice and cool, it's cold, we can all meet up there, hang out, dyno the cars, and you know, maybe that'd be a little better. Just do it as an annual thing, not the twice a year, which, I mean, that's cool, but I think maybe an annual thing might be a little better. Make it into a little something, you know, maybe we'll, you know, like do some, you know, cooking out a little bit, you know what I mean? Just make it where it's an, you know, it's an annual thing. Just kind of make it into a little mini event, just, you know, for our group and stuff like that. I mean, whoever shows up, but yeah, so that's where we're at right now, McNugget. It's running better, I think. We're sneaking up on it a little bit, and I'd like to take it coming up, and then maybe one more time, and then maybe have Kevin run it, or have Kevin run it the last Test and Tune if he wants to. I thought about taking doing some lightweight stuff to it, but you know, we can do that over the winter. I got other stuff I need to work on. Trojan Horse is really close, and I need to buckle down on that. We made some good progress on Rob, and you know, you guys saw that. And sorry about the audio. I don't know what happened to that. I mean, we've done a lot of videos, and I don't know if we've ever had something like that happen with the audio. It was just something with the upload. It wasn't YouTube, because there was nothing in there, like music or anything. So I don't know what happened. And I don't watch the videos after I post them. I see them enough when I'm editing, and I don't actually really watch the final product just go from start to finish. Like I say, I've seen it all. I'm good. So I load them up, and then I very, very rarely ever look. I don't ever really watch them. So I guess I've talked a lot. This video is going to be freaking long with a bunch of yakking. So what are we doing this second? I guess we're going to end this. Dang, it's long as hell, but sorry guys. It's just the way it is. Just the way these shake out. But tomorrow, I think, the time changes sucks too. Tomorrow, I think, when I get home, because there's a few things I want to look at right now. When I get home, I think I'm going to take it for a test drive. So we'll, I guess I'm just gonna wrap this one up. Maybe we'll start another one and just keep rolling on down the McNugget road. But things look promising so far. I mean, it sounded a lot better once it got a little heat in it. It sounded a lot better. It sounded a lot crisper. So I'm hoping we do something at the track. So anyway, thanks for putting up with us, putting up with me mostly, I guess. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the ways you guys support the channel. Even, you know, the little stuff, the nitrous bottles, that was very cool. That's actually going to be my Christmas ornament. We do family Christmas ornaments. Everyone in the family gets an ornament. Then me and Teresa get our own couple ornament. We do that every year. But the nitrous bottles are going to be my Christmas ornament this year. So Jason, appreciate it. You know, even small stuff like that. The Dr. Fear shirt, that was very funny. Speaking of merch, me and Teresa keep talking about it more and more and more. I'm very picky about stuff like that, about the design stuff. I'm very picky about that. You wouldn't know it by the shirts I wear, but I am picky about that to an extent. It's got to be something kind of cool or whatever that I like. I gotta like it. That's what it boils down to. It's got to be something I'm like, hey, I feel all right selling that to somebody. Because I don't sell stuff, and I feel like somebody buys something from that's got our name on it or whatever, that is something that they like. You know, you buy it to support the channel. but you buy it because you like it. You like it first, and supporting the channel is the secondary part of it. How about that? So, but yeah, thanks for all the ways you guys support the channel. We appreciate it. Especially, thanks for watching. Whoa, crap. And until next time on the Substandard Linear Fox Body videos and the talkingest guy you'll ever run into about these pieces of crap, more or less. 1 year only Lincolns, we talk about them a lot too. Ford drag vans, we should talk about those more. And as always, fighting a good fight against, you know, that guy. We'll see you guys in the next video.